How you going, guys? Josh from Big Boys Toys here. Today I'm going to show you how to put your 4-stroke brush cutter together. The model I've grabbed here is the Bullhorn model. As you can see, it comes in 2 boxes. You've got your shaft box and your engine box. So this is exactly how you get it from us. Today I'm going to show you how to put it together. Let's give it a go. Right, so I've got my brush cutter boxes here, shaft box and engine box. Let's open up and see what we've got inside. Right, first things first, we've got our manual, toolkit, a few little bolts and stuff. Shoulder strap. We've got one of our Bullhorn handles. Plastic. We've got our debris guard. We've got our commercial line head. Got one blade, a 40-tooth blade, another blade, a 3-tooth blade. Then we've got our BBT 4-stroke engine. So this is a 36cc 4-stroke. It's already got the Bullhorn and trigger attached to it for ease. But yeah, so this is what comes in the engine box. Next we'll open up the shaft box and see what comes in there. Alright guys, now we've got our shaft box. Let's open up and see what's inside this one. Let's have a look. Alright, so we've got our shaft. It's got our bell housing, little shoulder strap bracket back here. And we've got our Bullhorn bracket already attached, and on the other end we've got our drive head with all the washers and nuts, and then we've got our debris guard bracket all attached, ready to go. So what we're going to do, we're going to attach this up to our engine, and I'm going to show you how to set it all up. Right guys, so that again, we've got our 36cc engine here, we've got our 2 Bullhorn handles, we've got our shaft, 3-tooth blade, 40-tooth blade, toolkit and manual. We've also got our shoulder strap, debris guard, and commercial head. So that's all you'll need, and all that comes with the 4-stroke brush cutter. Like I said, this is the Bullhorn model, hence the Bullhorn handles. What we're going to do, we're going to attach the bell housing up to the engine. I'm going to show you how to do that, and then we'll put some oil in it, put some fuel in it, and we'll get it started up, and I'll show you how to attach the blades, the commercial head, shoulder strap, all those things. Right guys, first things first, always remember you read the instructions before you do anything. There's assembly guides and stuff in there. If you do have any problems, just give us a call. I can always help you put it all together. So we've got our instruction manual. Always read that before you go. I don't have to read it, I've read it before, which is all good. So we've got our tool bag. So open up the tool bag onto the bench here. So what we've got in there, we've got our spark key with a Phillips head screwdriver on one end. We've got a 10mm and an 8mm. Got 2 Allen keys. We've got 4 bolts, all there ready to go. You can see them. 4 bolts. That's for attaching the bell housing to the engine. 2 cable ties, and a little tuning screw. So what we're going to do now, we're going to use these 4 bolts, attach the engine up to the shaft, and then we'll move on from there. Right guys, one important thing when you're bolting up your engine, always make sure your shaft is the right way up with the engine. If you turn it to the side, you'll have a sideways shaft and you'll have to hold it on the side, and that's no fun. So make sure it's always the right way up. What I like to do is do it, so I've got it on a flat bench here, it makes it easier. Just pop the bell housing over, just like that, and put the 4 little screws in by hand.
So I like starting by hand first, that way you come along with the right Allen key afterwards and tighten them up. Alright, so we've got our Allen key and we'll tighten them up.
Righto, once you've done them all up loosely with the Allen key, I like just to give them one big nip up, make sure they're all tight. Don't go too tight, it is alloy thread, so you can strip them, it's not impossible. So just nice and firm. Righto, so your engine's all attached to your shaft now. So what I'm going to do next is attach the bullhorn handles to the bracket. Make sure you attach them the right way, so your trigger is on your right hand, not your left hand, otherwise you're going to have to do it with your thumb, which is not how it works. So, trigger side is the right hand side, and we've just got our normal handle that goes on the left. So we're going to attach that up next. Righto guys, so we've got our bracket here, it's got the 4 little screws on it. So we've got our small Allen key that's provided with it. We'll just loosen them off first. Don't take them out completely if you don't want to. Just to one side, so loosen them off first, take them out. So like I said, don't have to take them out, just loosen them off so you can slide it in. You can also adjust the brackets at the bottom if they're too close to the engine for you. So if you've got really long arms and you want it down the shaft, just loosen them off, slide it down, tighten them back up. So I've got all mine nice and loose. Like I said, trigger on the right hand side, slide it in. Don't slide it all the way because it'll just come out the other side like that. So just put it halfway through. Got our other handle, take the plastic off it. Chuck that in there. Make sure they're at the same angle. Make sure they're touching on the inside. Just give them a nip up with the Allen key. Once they're nice and firm, go through the other end and just give them like a nice, make sure they are nice and firm. Just give them a little tighter so they don't move around on you while you're using it. Alright guys, so that's the handles all attached up, ready to go. You've got these cable ties that are provided. These are to get your accelerator cable and kill switch wires out of the way. So I like to put one at the base here. Leave a little bit of slack, not too tight. Like that. Then I like to put another one at the other end, towards the engine, up here, just to make sure it's not going to go anywhere. Righto guys, you can trim that off with your knife. Righto, so that's all the nuts and bolts part of actually assembling it. The next part we're going to do is we're going to attach the commercial head onto the end. Then I'll show you how to attach the blades. Then we'll put some oil in it, and I'll show you how to start it up, go through the starting procedure. Righto guys, so like I said, I've got my commercial head, drive head here off the shaft, so I can better show you how to attach the blades onto it. So first things first, you will need is your spark spanner that comes with it, and one of the Allen keys. So what you've got to do, so you've got a hole here on the side, so you've got to put it in that hole, and you've got to line it up with the gold washer that's in there as well. So if you can have a look, keep going, keep going, keep going. Oh, so see the hole there? You line that hole up, put it through, so make sure it goes through both. That actually locks the head, so then you can undo the nut. So this nut is a left-handed thread, so instead of righty-tighty, lefty-loosey, it's lefty-tighty and righty-loosey. So we're going to undo it now, so it goes that way. Righto, so you've got your, then you're going to take it off. Remember the order it comes off, so you've got your nut, you've got your dress ring, then you've got one gold washer, then you've got the other gold washer. It should still be locked in by your Allen key, so you just pull that out. And then you've got that gold washer that's got the keys in it, so that's what actually helps it drive. So then you've just got your drive head. So now we're going to attach up the commercial head. I'm going to show you how to do that. So I've got my commercial head here guys. It's got the black dress plate on the front. So it's got its black dress plate on the front. We're going to undo that, and I'm going to show you what's on the inside. So same thing, the Allen key that we were using before, just put it in the little hole that's in it. Put it in there, and as you can see on the front it says lock. So do the opposite way of the lock, turn it, and it should just pop off like that. So now we've just got this aluminium flat piece, which is the actual part of the head, and we're going to attach it up to our drive head. So first things first, you will need this big, thicker gold washer to go on. You will need to line up the holes again and put the Allen key through. So put it through, all locked in place. Then we've got our commercial head. So you should be able to put it with the black dress plate, the way it come off should be facing out, so it hits the ground if it needs to. So put that on there like that. Yep, it should fit into that gold washer and line up like that. Then we've got our little nut. Like I said, remember this is left-hand thread, so we're going to do that up. My Allen key is actually just fallen out, so I'm going to pick that up. Make sure it's all lined up, the holes. Then we're going to use our spark spinner that we got provided, and it's actually sized to fit the nut, and we're going to do it up. Nice and tight. Alright, so now it's all done up. I'm going to pop this Allen key out, and you can see it's got no wobble, no back and forth, you can spin, and that's about it. So now we're going to attach our black dress ring back up. So we're going to line up these grooves here with the grooves on this. Put it in, line it up. Then we're going to grab our Allen key again and pull it back towards lock. Righto, so that's the commercial head all attached up to our drive head. Next thing we're going to do is I'm going to show you how to attach up the blade. Righto guys, so we've got our drive head here. I've just showed you how to attach up the commercial head. Now I'm going to show you how to attach up a blade. So first things first, as always, we've got this big copper. First things first, as always, we've got our big gold washer that goes on first. We're going to line up the holes again, and we've got our Allen key as well. Then next thing, we're going to actually grab a blade, and we're going to actually keys in, as it's got a lip on it. The blade actually fits around that lip. And then we're going to put the second gold washer on. Then we're going to put the dress plate over. Then we're going to attach our nut back up. So I'm just going to grab a blade and we're going to put it on. So I've got our 40 tooth blade here. This is a standard 40 tooth blade that comes with it. So what we're going to do, we're going to fit it over like that. Like I said, that little lip will fit perfectly in the blade. Then we've got one standard washer that will go over like that, the lip facing upwards. Then we've got our dress plate that will go over. Then the nut goes on. Remember, this nut is left-hand thread. Don't worry, I forget it all the time as well. Make sure that Allen key is still all lined up. Sorry. So if you've got our 40 tooth serrated blade, so if you've got our 40 tooth serrated blade, you will have a direction of the blade needs to spin, so it's just got to go a certain way. There should be arrows on it to show you. Once again, spark spinner, it is left hand thread. While you tighten this, make sure it is keyed into the lip on that bottom gold washer, otherwise it will vibrate and not be right. Pop out that Allen key. Alright guys, so that's the blade all attached up. It's not wobbling back and forth. Ready to go. So what we're going to do next, I'm going to attach this back up to our brush cutter. I'm going to put the commercial head back on. I'm going to show you how to feed the lines into it. I know a lot of people do have problems with this. I'm just going to show you how to do it. Righto guys, so I've got my drive head attached back up to my shaft. I've got my commercial head attached back up to my drive head. And next I'm going to show you is how to put your lines in. So I have got another video on this at the moment, but I'll just show you again. So with the lines, there's two different sides. There's a flat and then there's a geared side. So the gear side has to go towards the sides, if you know what I mean. Goes through just until it's poking out the other side. Pull it back to make sure it's locked in. So that's all locked in. So we'll do the other side. So we're going through just until it locked in. So that's the line all locked in. Can't get thrown out. A lot of people do make the mistake of pushing it in too far like that. Then the centrifugal force of it will throw it out the other side. So what we're going to do is just put it in until there's about a centimetre showing. Pull it back to make sure it's all locked. And that's it. So that's the line. Next thing we're going to show you is I'm going to put some oil in the 4-stroke engine, show you how to do that, how much goes in. Then we'll go up through the start procedure. I'll start it up for you guys and might cut some grass out the front, see how we go. Righto guys, now we've loaded all the cord into our head, we've attached our shaft, we've got it all ready to go. The next thing is we've got to put oil in our engine. So we've got our oil filler here. So we've got to unscrew that. We've got to put about 100 ml of oil into there. What I like to do, see my engine is sitting on a nice level surface. I haven't got it turned on the side and filling it in like that. It's nice and level. You can fill it up until the oil hits on the threads here, and that's the perfect amount. They do have a dipstick on them, and as you can see there's a little bit of a line on the dipstick. You can fill it up to there as well, but that actually is just on the bottom of the threads. So what I'm going to do now, I'm going to chuck some oil in it. I've got a little pump here that pumps oil in. I'll show you what I'm going to do. I'm going to overfill it, so I can show you what you should do if you do overfill it, and how you should let it run out. Righto guys, I got my oil pump here, so like I said, I'm going to overfill it to show you what you should do when you do overfill it. Like I said, it only takes about 100 ml, so what I'm going to do, I'm going to put about, say, 120 in to 150, and I'll show you what's going to happen. Righto, you can probably see that all the oil's just running out. So if you do overfill it, that's what you're going to have to do, just let it run out like I am now. Like I said, I've got it on a level surface, so when it reaches the equilibrium, it's going to stop running out, sit on the threads, and it's going to probably be about the perfect amount. So I've just pumped in about 150 ml, a waste of about 50 ml of oil here, but this is what you should have to do. You should never have to run it out like this, just put the correct amount in the first time. So I'm just going to sit here, let it run out until it stops, then I'll put the oil cap back in, chuck a little bit of fresh 98 4-stroke into it, so 98 octane. We do recommend using 95 and above. E10 and 91 doesn't run well with these small engines. I know it may run in your car and all those type of things, but it doesn't do well in these small engines. One, ethanol produces water, and these engines have no way to get rid of it. And 91 has a shorter shelf life, and it just, you know, gets claggy and clogs up the carby. Righto guys, you can see it's just trickled down to a drip now. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to put the oil cap back in. So put it back in. Next thing is we're going to put some fresh fuel into the brush cutter. Like I said, 95 and above. I'm going to use 98. This is what we. So on that note about our style of fuel, I haven't talked about the style of oil. The oil we use here is SAE 30, which that means it stays in the one heat range through the whole cycle of it. So the viscosity is the same viscosity it will be when it's hot. With 10W30 it still works as well. That just means it gets a little bit thinner when it gets hotter. That's just what the numbers do mean with oils. So SAE30 is what we use here, about 100 ml in this particular engine. 10W30 will also work as well. Make sure you're using 4-stroke oil, not 2-stroke oil. So this is 2-stroke oil. This is what you mix with your fuel when you have a 2-stroke engine. What you need is 4-stroke oil. So that's the stuff that you put into a sump of an engine rather than what you mix with your fuel. Righto guys, so what we've done, I've put fuel in it, we've got oil in it, so we're ready to start it up. Righto guys, another thing we've got to do before we start it up, we've got our shoulder strap here. It is optional. I find with the Bullhorn model it makes things a lot easier. So what you do, you're going to take it out of the packet. You just got this little push clip here like that. You see it? So that just goes onto this little spinning bracket here. Then that goes around you. So you can adjust the size on it, just like a standard, like a backpack. So you've got the little strap here. Adjust the size if you're a bit bigger, like I am. And then, you know, wear it around you when we start it up. So next thing here, I'm going to take it out to the workshop here. I'm going to start it up for you. Then we're going to go cut some grass. Righto guys, so we've got the brush cutter here. We're going to start it up. So first things first, we've got our on-off switch. So going forward is off, going back is on. We've got our trigger lock, which is we pull the trigger in here, push the little button, and locks it. Then before we start it, we've got our choke as well. It's got a little choke here. It's going to go up. Then it's just a matter of pulling the cord. So we're going to do that, and we'll see how we go. There's also a priming bulb on the bottom of the carby here, underneath the air filter. So pump that a couple of times. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I've pumped it 7 times because it's the first time this engine's been started, so there's nothing in there. We'll see how we go. Righto guys, when I like to start these, I like to put my foot on them. It holds them on the ground, stops them from jumping around. So 1 foot there, I'm not putting all my weight on it, I'm just holding it steady. 1 hand on top of the engine, and then you've got my right hand on the pull start. So let's see how we go. I'm just going to start the tire, put the choke down. So usually when I started that first time, the choke was up, so that's why it wasn't running properly. So now I'm going to try and pull it again, but this time I'll put the choke down. We'll see how we go. So it was revving up because the throttle lock was on. I've just turned it off now, so it's just idling away. What we'll do, I'll put the shoulder strap on, I'll take these outside, and we might cut some grass with it. Righto guys, that's a video done here on our 4-stroke brush cutter on how to set it all up and what comes in the box. Like I said, you don't have to use the commercial head, you can use a blade. We've got these available on our website, both in Bullhorn and D-handle models. It's just a matter of preference really, there's no one's better than the other. Thanks for watching, see you next time.